Bowser kidnaps Princess Peach. Toad informs Mario that the princess has been kidnapped. Mario traipses around the Mushroom Kingdom on a quest to save Princess Peach. It's a tale as old as time. Somehow, even through all of the rehashings of the same storyline, there are plenty of mysteries and plot holes which plague every Mario fan. Before we begin, be sure to subscribe to TheGamer and ring the bell to stay up to date with all things gaming. Without further ado, here are 10 unresolved mysteries and plot holes Mario games left hanging. King and Queen. Everyone knows Princess Peach is the lovable ruler of the Mushroom Kingdom. For the most part, it appears as though her subjects love her. There has been a lot of controversy regarding what a human is doing ruling over an entire kingdom of mushroom people, but considering a handful of other creatures roam the kingdom, a benevolent human princess is probably the least of the citizens' worries. Princess Peach is merely a princess. Considering how royal monarchies are typically run, she's a few royalties short of a full kingdom. If Princess Peach is the heir to the Mushroom Kingdom throne, then it can be assumed that she had parents who held the throne prior to her rule, in which case there are usually a few other royals kicking around the kingdom, not just a handful of princesses. On that note, what is a princess doing in charge of a kingdom anyway? Typically, once a ruler is ascended into power, they shed their lesser title and become the king or queen. Perhaps, considering the absence of Peach's parents, she's merely holding the throne until they reappear. The only other alternative is that Peach, as a young girl, decided she wanted to be a princess and rule her own kingdom. The Mushroom people were subject to a hostile takeover by a child, and the rest is history. Oh my god, is the Mushroom Kingdom just the manifestation of her fantasies? That would explain so much! Koopalings. For a long time, it was assumed that the Koopalings were Bowser's children. They look similar. They're always up to evil deeds in the company of one another. Most importantly, it appeared as though Bowser called all the shots in the way which only a father figure could. With such a high rate of princess kidnapping failure, it's hard to believe anyone would willingly want to follow Bowser. The Koopalings, as Bowser's children, just made sense. Then, in 2012, Shigeru Miyamoto confirmed the Koopalings weren't even remotely related to Bowser at all. As far as offspring go, only Bowser Jr. is related to Bowser. Bowser Jr. is probably the only one who needs to go along with Bowser's kidnapping plans. So why do these low-level lackeys insist on assisting Bowser in his princess kidnapping schemes? If they're not related to Bowser in any way, joining in his constant kidnapping attempts doesn't seem profitable for them. There's literally no ransom demand from Bowser, and as far as we know, there's no profit in kidnapping princesses other than a ransom. If they're evil bosses in training, they're clearly learning the ropes from the wrong guy. Maybe Bowser is a failure at kidnapping, but a genius at blackmail? Honestly, we can't figure out why else the Koopalings would want in on these half-baked plans which consistently backfire. Peach's security. Princess Peach has been kidnapped by Bowser a ridiculous amount of times. In fact, she's kidnapped so often that damsel in distress is probably her full-time job, more so than running the Mushroom Kingdom. In all honesty, Princess Peach could be a shadow monarch, with Toad pulling the strings behind the scenes. Seriously though, how does he always know that she's in another castle? Typically, when a high-profile victim is kidnapped or harmed in some other way, their security teams hunker down to resolve any further security issues. In the case of Princess Peach and her multiple kidnappings, it would seem like she'd want to tighten security and lock her castle down at the very least. In fact, why isn't Bowser in Mushroom Kingdom prison at this point? With the low intellect of the Koopalings, we'd figure at least one of them would have flipped on him by now. Anyway, it appears as though, in spite of multiple kidnappings, Peach isn't concerned with getting better security in order to prevent yet another kidnapping attempt by Bowser and his crew. Either that, or the multiple abductions are nothing more than a mild inconvenience. Maybe the people of the Mushroom Kingdom know Bowser better than we do. It's possible that Bowser is not totally evil and is simply a misunderstood resident of the Mushroom Kingdom who lacks social skills and tact. Toad. Toad is one of the most beloved characters in the Mushroom Kingdom. He's essentially Princess Peach's right-hand man, and he can definitely hold his own in Mario Kart. We know, in spite of the unsettling scene from the Super Mario Bros. Cartoon, that Toad's head is not a hat, or is it? Although his clothing choices are pretty questionable. His name is also Toad, and his people are commonly referred to as Toads, so we assume he may be some kind of like a Pokemon when it comes to names. One thing about Toad is that players can always count on him being around. He's ever present throughout the series. He even has his own adventures and game titles as well. He's always there to offer helpful advice, and he's always around to tell Mario the princess is in another castle. If Toad knew all along that the princess was in another castle, why didn't he let Mario know earlier? It's quite possible that Princess Peach isn't the one in charge after all. While she may think she's the ruler of the Mushroom Kingdom, it's possible that the kingdom is run by a shadow government made up of various Toads. It would certainly explain why no one cares to beef up security around Princess Peach, why the kingdom continues to run in spite of her constant absence, and why Toad always seems to know she's in another castle. Mortal enemies. Video game character rivalries are par for the course when it comes to any video game. Players can always count on Mario stomping down Goombas on his way to save Princess Peach from Bowser's clutches. It's one of the oldest video game rivalries there is, and it's the same plot the franchise has been using since forever. Without a healthy rivalry, there wouldn't be much of a game, for certain. Throughout the series, it seems as though Mario and Bowser are sworn enemies. This rivalry includes the members of their respective crews as well. So it's somewhat surprising to see major enemies being invited to play Mario Kart or Mario Party with the rest of the Mario gang. Sure, there's still some competition, especially when it comes to Mario Party, but who invites their mortal enemy to join them in friendly competition? Considering the fact that most major enemies have made appearances in the Mario Kart and Mario Party games, it would seem like these characters don't hate each other as much as we've been led to believe. In fact, the Mario and Bowser rivalry is almost like a frenemy publicity stunt at this point, since they can obviously drive go-karts together without Princess Peach being kidnapped. Any platformer Mario title would be pretty boring without the inevitable kidnapping of Princess Peach. Mario Bros. Ah, the Mario Brothers. A debate has raged for years over Mario and Luigi's surname. The two brothers are often called the Mario Brothers, which would lead most people to believe that their surname is Mario, meaning Mario's name would be Mario Mario, while Luigi would be Luigi Mario. Both options are less than ideal. No one wants to be called Mario Mario. Maybe Mario is like New York City, a guy so nice they named him twice? Okay, probably not. The other viable option is Mario's going by their surname and Luigi goes by his first name. It would mean that no one, aside from Luigi, knows Mario's real first name. The entire concept is somewhat unnecessarily complicated and still doesn't get to the heart of the issue. The ridiculously bad Mario Brothers movie pointed out that Mario is a family name, but never mentioned whether it's in regard to a first name or a surname. We're essentially back at square one. One Redditor pointed out that the naming conventions in the Mushroom Kingdom are quite a bit different than the naming conventions we're used to. Individual names in the Mushroom Kingdom aren't very common. You have Toad of the Toads and Yoshi of the Yoshis. Perhaps the confusion over Mario's name was a simple misunderstanding. If Mario were to introduce himself to the Mushroom people, they may have thought that the human creature they were seeing was a Mario and not the Mario. Mother. It's been made clear that Bowser Jr. is the only true son of Bowser. Although there are several Koopalings who for the longest time were believed to be at least relatives of Bowser, it was confirmed that this simply was not true. It's alright, however, since Bowser and Bowser Jr. seem to make a great father and son duo. Unfortunately, there is some mystery surrounding Bowser Jr. and his existence. While it's clear he does have a father in his life, we've never seen his mother. This, of course, doesn't mean he doesn't have a mother. There had to be, at one point, someone who at least wanted to be with Bowser enough to create a son with him. The poor kid didn't simply appear out of thin air. I mean, what is he, Anakin Skywalker? There is one fan theory circulating the internet where the true biological mother of Bowser Jr. is Princess Peach. In fact, in Super Mario Sunshine, Bowser actually tells Bowser Jr. that his mother is Princess Peach. It would be a cruel joke to play on a kid in order to get him involved in kidnapping the princess, so maybe there is some truth to it. Maybe Bowser is kidnapping her to take care of Bowser Jr., or maybe he simply wants her to pay her child support. Maybe Bowser Jr.'s mom is Claudia Koopa, who never appeared in any games but was mentioned in a UK edition of Nintendo Power as Bowser's former lover. Unfortunately, Bowser Jr. was raised without a mother figure and still doesn't know who she is today. Why coins? The Mario Bros. Games have a thing for coins. When you think about it, it's an odd thing to include. It's not like Mario can gather enough coins to pay the ransom for Bowser to release Princess Peach or something. Bowser doesn't seem to want money for her release. He just wants the kingdom and her as a hostage. Mario also doesn't need to spend money on anything, really. He eats mushrooms, never changes his clothes, and it appears as though he doesn't have to pay rent in the Mushroom Kingdom. So why are all those coins lying around for him to collect? One theory floating around the internet is that the coins are souls. It appears appears as though whenever Mario and Luigi kill an enemy, they're replaced with a coin. It's especially true when they've hit an enemy with a fireball, so it makes sense that other coins would be the old souls of other expired enemies. Or friends. That's morbid. While souls as coins may sound a little strange, it does hold some weight. Once Mario collects 100 coins, he gains a new life. It looks as though a life costs 100 coins in the Mushroom Kingdom. It's a bit unsettling, but this theory does make sense. Now, if we could just tackle why collecting stars, moons, and suns is a thing throughout the Mario franchise, we would be set. Boo origins. Everyone is familiar with the boos of the Mario franchise. In fact, they've easily become a fan favorite over the years with their irritating haunted houses which shift and change at the drop of a hat. Their ghastly movements are also unnerving. Alright, they're kind of adorable, even though they're doing their best to make sure that you can't finish the haunted house levels without becoming a ghost yourself. Since boos are obviously ghosts, they had to have been alive at some point, so what are they the ghosts of? Considering the fact that they can't maintain eye contact with Mario, it would make sense if boos are the ghosts of the enemies that Mario has eliminated. In fact, Goombas and boos have similar features, excluding their eyes. However, in Super Mario Galaxy 2, Mario can become a Mario Boo, and his eyes look nothing like his original Mario eyes. To top things off, it appears as though there's a Goomba for every Boo. There are, after all, a lot of different types of Boos, and a lot of different types of Goombas as well. What's worse is the fact that Goombas don't seem to be hardcore into taking Mario out. In fact, they seem like innocent casualties compared to other game enemies, which makes a Boo's fear of Mario just a lot sadder. Tired plot. The plot of the Mario franchise has caught a lot of flack over the years. In the case of the platformers, the plot is essentially the same every time. Bowser kidnaps Princess Peach, usually, and Mario is informed he must save the princess from Bowser's clutches. Mario then goes through a series of levels until he ultimately reaches the final castle where he defeats Bowser in order to free Princess Peach. While some may argue that this simple storyline is intended for children, so there's no harm in repetition, what if there was a different reason for using the same storyline over and over again? If the Mushroom Kingdom is as boring as it looks, it appears as though there's not a lot going on there. We're pretty certain that aside from the kidnappings, the people of the Mushroom Kingdom spend their days doing mushroom people stuff. What if the one time in their lives when something interesting happened was when Bowser decided to kidnap Princess Peach? The reason behind retelling the same story over and over again could be the people of the Mushroom Kingdom reliving and exaggerating the most exciting day of their lives. It only makes sense that the story would change a bit from time to time if it's a retelling of the epic Bowser kidnapping story. And let's not forget that Super Mario Bros. 3 was a stage play. So, are there any plot holes that we missed? Which Mario mystery bothers you the most? Let us know in the comments section below, and don't forget to subscribe to The Gamer so you can keep up with all of our videos. Thanks for watching.